All right, good evening. Give everybody a few minutes to hop on here. But I'm standing in front of the Illinois State Capitol, and I'm down here in Springfield. I happen to be down here for work, and thought a little bit early here tonight. Apologize for being early, but got a meeting here at 6:30 that I need to be in. So anyway, figured the Capitol of Illinois, this place where nothing happens here in Illinois. Give you a quick look at it here. Apparently nothing can get done in Springfield, and so I figured it was kind of relevant to the topic that I wanted to talk about tonight, and it's about saying yes and making it happen. And last night I talked a little bit about saying no, that sometimes you have to say no so others can say yes, and that sometimes we have to say no to things. But as I got thinking about today and really my job, and for those of you who know me, I work for the Climate Corporation and have been in ag technology for quite some time. And so I love what I do, and I also farm part-time as well. So tonight I'm on the road for the job, and I'll head back home tonight, but and back tomorrow, oddly enough. But I really wanted to talk about saying yes. And, you know, in my involvement, and I do want to give a call out to Bill Graff and Breakfast with Bill, and thanks for the promotion this morning, that shameless plug for Supper with Sean. But I wanted to talk about getting involved, and as Bill kind of alluded to, I've been involved in several organizations and multiple leadership roles since even high school, and you know, absolutely, Bill's great. Love starting my day with Breakfast with Bill, and hopefully Supper with Sean can kind of live up to some of that. But, you know, as I look at the organizations I've been involved with, and I sit on our County Farm Bureau board as well, you know, there aren't many of us young people involved in organizations. Now, I say that somewhat cautiously because I know there are a lot of people that are involved in certain organizations that you feel passionate about, and that's great. But the reality of it is I got my mail last night, and I got my welcome packet to the co-op, and I look at the picture of the board on that respective co-op, and there's one young individual on that board. And as I think about how do we get involved and what do we say yes to, certainly you have to be somewhat concerned about what does our future hold, how do we get involved, and how do we make a difference in the organizations and the things that we're involved in. And I think you need to get involved. As young people, and arguably as older people too, we all have an opportunity to get involved and make a difference. And so we've got to make sure we take advantage of those opportunities. And at the end of the day, you know, I stopped by one of our research farms today, and there's 4 young individuals that are working for us, of course, as interns. And I know a couple of them a little bit better than the other 2, but at the end of the day, they have to make it happen. And just like we all do, we have to find a way to make it happen. When we get up in the morning, we have a choice of what are we going to be involved in. Maybe that's our jobs, maybe that's farming. And, you know, as we think about farmers, and I love the pictures that we see that, you know, none of us have an 8-to-5 job, because even if we do, we spend that extra time at the farm. So we don't work a 7-to-5, an 8-to-5, a 9-to-3, whatever you want to call the hours. We don't have those. So I think it's important that you realize that what you're involved with is important to you and others around you, whether that's our organizations or our jobs or our careers or our farms. We have to realize that life's too short, so you've got to make it count. And at the beginning of the day, you have to wake up and understand, is this something I really want to do? And if it's not, what are you doing to make a change? Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to come to you with a choice or a decision. Most of the time, they're not going to come and say, hey, we think you should do this, this, or this. That you have to make it happen. And you know, I talked a little bit about how young farmers, we have to challenge ourselves to kind of step outside of the box and think about different things that we could do in our operations to challenge the norm. And at the end of the day, you have to make that happen. And farmers are prone to do that, right? It's partly in our blood that we make it happen. So, I think as you think about opportunities, you have to wake up every day and realize, what am I going to make happen today? You can sit around and wait for opportunities to come. You can sit around and wait for somebody to ask to be on a board. Seek out opportunities, but be willing to ask. Absolutely. So don't be afraid to take advantage of those opportunities, because some may come knocking on your door, others may not. But it shows initiative if you're going to step outside of the box and take a challenge and take advantage of those opportunities. But at the end of the day, you have to make it happen, because without that, those opportunities are going to pass you by. So as I stand here in front of the Illinois State Capitol, of all people that should be watching this should be our House and Senate, who have let another year pass by where the state of Illinois doesn't have a budget, and they don't know how to make it happen, because they fear what that potential discourse could be with their constituents back home. And that's frustrating for somebody who's involved and follows politics. That there are certainly things that they can do instead of dealing with politics. And everybody uses the excuse of politics, and that's why we can't get anything done. No, you can wake up in the morning and make a decision to make it happen. So whether that's in politics, whether that's in business, whether that's in your job, or whether that's in your family life or your church life or any organization that you're involved with, you've got to wake up in the morning and decide, am I going to make it happen, or am I going to sit around and wait for somebody else to make it happen for me? Selfishness is why they can't get anything done. Absolutely. And they don't want to make it happen. I truly think that they want to just continue to let this linger. And, politics, we could go on for hours about that. But we have to take the high road. And sometimes that's not easy, but you've got to make it happen, whether it's right or wrong. And I say that you've got to make sure that you're taking the high road in a situation that might not be easy. But at the end of the day, you have to make it happen. And it's not going to be easy sometimes. But if you take the high road, if you take the initiative, and as I think about young people today, the reason farm kids and anyone who takes initiative is so well respected in our industry and others is because they get up in the morning and they make it happen. They have an initiative and a drive about them that encourages them to succeed, and they make great employees. So as we think about who do we want to be, do I want to wake up in the morning and wait for somebody to tell me what to do? Heavens no. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to find the opportunities. I'm going to seek out people who know what I'm trying to get after, and I'm going to go investigate them. I'm going to go have lunch with them. I'm going to go have dinner with them. So as you think about periscoping, and whether it's having breakfast with Bill and learning about some of those opportunities, or maybe dinner with Derek, or tea with Tim or Tom, and lunch with Leo, all of those other opportunities, we've got to be willing to take advantage of those. So surround yourself with good people. Wake up in the morning and take that initiative. Do more than what happens here at our Illinois State Capitol. And at the end of the day, make it happen, because that's what's going to leave an impact. And get involved. We think that we don't have time today, and I've talked about being crazy busy and saying no so others can say yes. But at the end of the day, we've got to think not just for today, of how busy am I today, but what am I doing for the future? And what am I doing to help our kids or our grandkids or our neighbors' kids be successful? Because it's not just about us. It's about helping others succeed. And I saw this today actually on LinkedIn, where they had a post that leaders who talk all the time and don't listen will soon have a team that never shares ideas. And I think that's really true as we think about how we get involved and we try and help others, and we learn from others, and we listen to others, because listening to others helps us be successful. So I would challenge yourself, if you're not involved in an organization or a group, specifically agriculture, we need involvement, and volunteerism has kind of gone by the wayside. So I would encourage you to volunteer, get involved, Think about ways that you can make a difference, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to make it happen. So as you think about that, I'd encourage you to hashtag make it happen on opportunities that you see available for us and others in agriculture. But I just can't emphasize enough, you have to make it happen. Nobody's going to do that for you. Whether it's going down the road and asking the neighbor who might be challenging themselves or thinking about retirement from their farm, we know that's not an easy decision. We know it's not an easy decision to have a conversation with our parents or our uncle or our grandparents about what's going to happen to the farm when they decide to retire or what happens when they pass on. Nobody likes to talk about that, but at the end of the day, those are conversations that it's up to us to make happen, and only you can do that. So think about that. Some things to noodle on tonight as you're having supper. And, I again thank Bill Graff for the call out today on Breakfast with Bill and talking about Supper with Sean. I apologize, I'm not quite as, timely as Bill is with being somewhat between 6 and 6:30 or 7 o'clock, but try to be somewhat consistent. I've got to head off to a business dinner here and try and get a plan of attack for a meeting tomorrow. But again, Supper with Sean here at the Illinois State Capitol, talking about making it happen in a place that knows how to do exactly the opposite. So whatever you do, don't follow the ways of the Illinois State House or Senate. Go out there tomorrow, find something to do, make it happen for yourself, and with that, I think you'll see success. So thanks for watching Supper with Sean. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.